Well, let's go then.
Okay. Last time, you had learned a great deal about the manse and a little bit about the rest of the castle, the Schloss, as it is called, and you have also found some treasure in the deserted second floor of the building, where it seemed like somebody had been hosted not too long ago, but you're quite sure it wasn't the Whispering Way agents that supposedly also came through here. They were apparently up to more sinister things, and did not strike you as being invited guests as such. You then continued to explore the neighboring building of the main living quarters, which you got to by crossing the river via a narrow bridge. That struck you as a little odd because it was, according to your expertise, it was stone-shaped across the chasm, which is an odd way of building things, for sure. But it took you to a large workshop that had, however, seen much, much better days. Half of the building has basically crumbled and fallen due to some explosion that must have happened quite a while ago. And the rust monsters that have taken up the building certainly didn't help with the general shape of things. Nevertheless, you managed to overcome the nasty little critters, and even were rewarded for your thorough search of the room by finding a quite valuable rod of flame extinguishing, which, as it turns out, you might even get a chance to use sooner than you would have liked, because as you tried to move on and over the shaky rope bridge that connects the workshop to another building across the river, you triggered another summoning trap. This time, it did not just summon an elemental, but a furious angelic warrior of the evil kind. And she is taken to the air and has knocked flaming arrows and unleashed a blood-curdling war cry that means that it's time for battle. I'm not exactly sure who went ahead last time.
As in, who led the way first?
Yes, somebody.
I think that was Emaírel.
Okay. So
I wasn't there, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't Geier.
Yeah. And I believe you had a rope tied to yourself?
I think so, yes.
Didn't we trigger the summoning from the safety of the side of the bridge? I thought that I had detected magic and we had done something to try and trigger the trap.
Yes, you're right. You actually made Geier have a raven fly across, or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. He summoned a raven and it flew over to check it out.
Yeah, that's what it was. And since it's a proximity trigger, the living creature triggered it. Okay, so you're still, quote-unquote, safely within the confines of the workshop as the furious creature manifests. And Frida's crying. Sorry about that.
You said furious creature manifests?
Was it Geier or Evelyn that is carrying the Brawl of Flames extinguisher?
I gave it to Emaŕel. It was in my notes.
So what do we know about this creature?
I don't think we've identified it yet.
Yeah.
It just looks like...
Yeah. We just know that
there's fire.
something was summoned.
It looks like an angel that has like fire and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, 'cause I guess that's
Basically.
what Geier might try to do first on his turn. Try to figure out what he can surmise.
Okay. Time to roll initiative.
I'll have to ask someone to roll for me.
Right. Does anybody have access to Evelyn's sheet? No. Then I'll just do it. Initiative. Okay. Sword and Emaírel, your turn.
Well, first things first, what is this thing?
What is this thing? Good question. Knowledge Plains. What the devil is this thing? It's called an Arronax. It is a kind of devil. They're also colloquially called the Furious. And they are medium outsiders of the devil, evil, extraplanar, lawful subtype. You know that they have exceptional senses all the way to true seeing. They can see perfectly in darkness. They're very perceptive. They're good combatants, and they are known for their prowess with their flaming longbows, and with a rather odd weapon, which is a mere piece of rope that they can hurl and fling around with supernatural dexterity. So on top of that, you get 24, 29, 2 more questions.
Any weaknesses?
Good aligned damage.
And does that rope do anything in particular, like a trip or something?
Was it what?
Does their rope attack do anything like a trip?
It entangles.
It's okay. Emaírel, what will he do? He is going to take one action. One standard action to cast a spell.
Resist energy. Let me guess which kind of energy?
Yep, fire.
Water, because you're afraid to fall.
Of course.
Okay. So you're protected?
And once that is done, Well, this is the first time we're facing devils, right? So he couldn't know.
Maybe we should just wait it out. I mean, these summoning spells don't really last very long.
Well, that's this is open, right?
Well, yeah, basically.
Yeah, so we can't really hide there.
And we don't get across.
He is going to pull out the rod of extinguishing. Can I combine that with a move, like a weapon?
No, because it's in your pack essentially.
Yeah. Okay. So he'll take the move action to pull it out, and that's it.
Okay. Then the doctor, your turn.
Okay, the doctor in that case will, as his standard action, he will drink the shield extract to buff himself up a bit to make up for the loss of his chainmail, and he will pull out a vial of holy water as his move action, and that would be it.
Okay. Evelyn?
How far away is the Fury from where Evelyn is?
40 feet.
40. Okay.
A little more because she's also up, but yeah.
Evelyn is going to delay until after the Fury. See what it does first.
Okay.
So Emaŕel has the rod right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Geier, your turn.
Did Geier use any spells or anything the previous games? Anything I need to mark down?
I think that Anthony had access to your sheet and did that.
So I only see Magic Missile and Summon Minor Monster marked?
Yes, that sounds about right.
Okay, then I think Geier will again summon a swarm of ravens and kind of like maybe hope they can distract.
So it's summon swarm, or what are you calling?
Yeah, I think I roll 1d3 and it's depending on the number of...
What's the spell you're using?
Summon Minor Monster.
Oh, okay.
I know, Summon Monster 1.
Summon Monster 1.
I don't know, sorry, it is Summon Minor Monster.
Okay.
And 1d3, I can summon 1d3 tiny or smaller animals, such as bats, lizard, monkeys, rats, ravens.
Okay.
So...
And it's a casting time of 1 round, so
yep.
It'll take a round to come into effect.
And I didn't roll the 1d3, right?
You don't have to. You roll everything when the spell comes into effect.
Cool. Okay, I'll do that next turn then.
Okay, so you basically start the grumbling.
Yeah, weird signs start glowing around the gun.
Mm-hmm. The Arrhenius flies straight up over the bridge and still calling out with her battle cry. She shoots a flaming arrow at Emaírel. Where is the... Oh, that's Evelyn. That's why it doesn't work. And shoot.
Ooh.
Yeah, 19?
The 19 does not confirm.
Okay, so it's just 3 points of damage and 6 points of fire. No, wait. That's not right. That macro should actually roll a d6 instead of just saying d6. It's 3 points of potential fire damage.
Well, it gets absorbed by the...
Yeah. Right, so the fire damage doesn't seem to affect you, which the Aroden notices, and she just kind of sneers, or like, makes a little frustrated face, and knocks another. Evelyn?
Fury is still 40 feet in range or closer?
She had to go down a little. Well, she's still at 45 at least.
Okay. I'm going to... I believe I have a casting of... Well, does Emaŕel have a ranged weapon?
Nope.
Does anyone have a ranged weapon that's not going to deal fire damage?
I have holy water.
And Geier has his spells.
I'm gonna drop a Hermian potential on the doctor then. So move wherever I have to move to be able to touch him, and then cast Hermian potential.
Okay.
Standing right here.
Yeah, you're standing right next to him. Would you try to move into like the second line or fall behind the others?
No, I don't want to back off too far right now. Try to keep.
You breaking up, but I think I got it.
Am I in the front line right now?
Kind of, but you still have some cover from the broken wall of the workshop.
Okay, that sounds like an okay place to be.
Okay. Emaírel?
Let me see. So she is hovering above, right?
Yes. About 10 feet above the bridge.
If you give me a round.
Emaírel is going to take a 5-foot step and take full defense.
Okay. Doctor?
Well, charging her head first into the range of my holy water would be rather foolhardy, so he will take position right behind Emaírel, and he will prepare to fling holy water should she approach.
Okay. Geier? Your spell comes into effect?
My spell comes into effect, and
So let's roll that d3.
magically
How many?
3 ravens materialized out of the ether in a flash of green light.
You can move them around where you want them to appear. Up to something like 40 feet, I think.
Okay, and I'll just keep them close between the demon, and I signaled them to stay in front of it, kind of like between us and the demon, just flying wildly.
Okay, so they would get to act if you want them to act in any particular manner.
Well, we've not. I know we have begun hostilities. Sam got shot. Yeah. So no, I will then order them to peck at the demon. So that is they can attack melee bite. That's I think that's just it. +4. So, do I roll for each one?
Yes.
Okay.
1977. Well, they do move into her square, which she's not ready to defend herself from because she did not expect anything like this and was just holding her bow. And they start pecking and flailing their little wings, but they do cause her some frustration and distraction, but they don't manage to actually bite her. Wait, sorry, your turn, because that was just from last turn, the action, so you still have your entire turn.
I think commanding them.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Okay, then. I had not really planned ahead. I don't really have anything that might help.
Shoot her.
Yeah, extending a hand and green energy flowing from Geier. Geier will unleash a magic missile.
Shoo. And that's, wow, 13 points of force damage, of course. Do
The ravens were only a distraction.
quite a bit. Okay, that was your turn. Now it's the Arrhenia's turn. And yeah, like I said, she's quite frustrated by the birds and curses an infernal, which is, even though you don't understand the words, it greatly unsettles you on a very primal level to hear her do that. And she flies away from the birds. Kind of annoying to have all of them here. There you go. So she flies away, having to take a move action, or well, she does have fly, but only good. So she'll try to just take a flying 5-foot step, essentially, which means that she'll have to make a fly check, which of course she's quite good at, but everybody can have a bad day. No, she makes it, and that leaves her with enough actions to do her full attack routine, which she is going to unleash on the Doctor, who is getting some soft cover from Emaŕel.
I'm gonna trigger his mesmeric mirror as well, so 2 duplicates will pop up when she attacks him.
Okay, so let's put those 2 duplicates on you, Doctor. And then she'll fire 3 arrows in quick succession, stopping her war cry, apparently having to focus on that routine. So 25 to hit, I would think.
All those would hit.
Okay, let's do one after another. So 1 would hit you, 2 and 3 would hit one of the mirror images. So the first one gets one of the mirror images out. The second one gets... Oh, wait, that was wrong, because it was a D... damn it. A D2. So the second actually hits you for 3 plus 4 points of fire damage. And the last shot takes or connects as well for 3 plus 3 points of fire damage. And that's her turn. And then it's Evelyn's turn.
So this is like a crumbling wall in front of me, right? I can't move any further forward there?
No. There are gaps in it so that you're not impeded firing through it or anything like that, but you can't climb through.
Okay. I am going to cast Obscuring Mist.
Huh. On yourself?
Let me just double check. Oh yeah, it's a radius from me. So yeah, 20-foot radius from me.
Okay. So all of you are obscured, essentially.
And I'm going to take a move action to draw the... shoot, do we have a Wand of Healing? Did we pick one of those up or not?
I think we did.
Let me check my sheet. Yeah, I've got a new Wand of Cure Light Wounds, so I'm gonna draw that out.
Okay. Emaŕel, your turn.
Obscure and mist. So we basically can see farther away than 5 feet. So we can see her and she can see us. That's right.
Well, you don't know, but you can't see her. That's for sure.
Okay.
Oh, she has True Sight. Well, I don't know if that... I don't know what True Sight does.
Well, assuming that she can see us, Evelyn is going to hand over the rod to Evelyn, and he's going to pull out his... he can do that. Well, he's going to pull out his longsword in anticipation of the Arrhenius coming into melee range.
Okay. Doctor?
Okay, how high this Arrhenius was flying when we last saw her?
When you last saw her, about 10 feet above the bridge.
One second, I need to check one thing. I have...
Do you want to delay for now?
I think so.
Okay. Geier.
Question. If I already summoned the creature, can I use a different spell to summon another creature?
Yeah, absolutely.
And, okay, this looks quite ruined and decomposed, right? So a skeleton crawling out of the earth wouldn't be too out of place.
Well, there's no earth around here. I don't know.
Just for flavor.
Okay. No, sure. There may be something buried in all that rubble that you hadn't noticed before.
Because Geier has a look of concentration.
Okay, and continues to concentrate and focus.
Yes.
All right. Oh, wait, but your birds are...
And my birds will continue their attack.
To hassle the Arrhenius.
Yep. Just flying and swooping in front of her face, feathers everywhere.
Yeah, indeed. But again, they're just annoying to her. And apparently they're so annoying that the next thing you hear are 3 pained squeaks as she apparently takes a turn to get rid of the 3 birds.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've...
Do you want to take your turn?
I think I've made my choice, yes.
Okay.
So...
Go ahead then. Okay, so you also start casting.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been throwing the flask somewhere at the bridge, and it starts making noises and adding to the obscuring mist clouds some additional Arronax particles effects.
Right. Evelyn.
So So Emaírel was handing me the rod.
Yeah.
So what does that require for me to take it from him? Is that still like a move action, or if he's putting it in my face, what does it take to grab it?
Yeah, let's go with a move action. It's basically like picking it up.
Oh, okay. Okay. Evelyn will take it from him then. And was there anything on this fury? Did this fury look like it was made out of fire at all, or is it just that it has a fire bow?
It just has a fire bow. I'm pretty sure I have an image for you. Actually, I don't. Sorry. Yeah, but she looks like an angel, except that her wings are black and her hair is purple, and her skin also has a purplish hue, and she has merciless eyes, where usually in an angel you would expect generosity and mercy. But she's not.
I'm gonna play to the large or a magnifier size medium. Okay. Evelyn's gonna so she's gonna take that from Emaírel with the move action, and then she's gonna say, well, someone has to lead the way, and she's going to step out onto the bridge, shoving her way past the doctor. So 10.
Okay, right, the mist
30
behind.
Oh, I think she can. Can she get a little further? Oh no! I think the mist stays on me.
No, the mist is stationary. If it works just like obscuring mist, it says it is stationary. It's the second.
Okay. It emanates from me, but it stays in place.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
When it comes into effect, it emanates from you, and then it stays where it is.
Oh, okay. In that case, I need to see the radius of where it stays again.
Where it stays.
Center it on Arronax for now, then.
So if she's standing in the last square that's covered by the mist, is she only partially obscured to the fury?
Give me a second here. It's 20 radius? Is that
Yep.
it? Oh man. Radius 20. Okay. So essentially this, I believe, is what it was like, and when you're standing on the very edge of the fog, then you have concealment, so you have the 20% mischance on you, but you can see her clearly. But as you step onto the rope bridge, you'll notice that it is very, very shaky and very, very crumbly. So you can of course proceed, but you'll need to keep your balance.
What, just to avoid falling as I move?
It is very, very swaying and unstable.
Can I move slowly to minimize that, or is that just...
You can move slower, yes, but you would still have to balance.
Okay. Well, someone's got to do it, so she'll give it a shot.
Okay, acrobatics.
Great.
It's okay. If you catch cold while falling, we'll have less restoration.
Oh boy, the mist is also obscuring the treacherously slippery wood of the rope bridge, and you slip on one of the rotten boards. And give me a reflex save.
Emaírel, stab her with a spear. Catch her.
And before you fall over the swaying rope bridge, you manage to grab the ropes, but the rocking that you cause makes the footing even more unstable, so you lose your move action.
I didn't realize it was even... I mean, I thought it might just be a fall prone. I didn't realize it was so slippery you could just fall off. Okay, so where am I dangling on... Am I hanging on the edge?
You're not hanging over the edge. You basically slipped and you fell into the side of the ropes, and you caught yourself in the ropes, but you're kind of hanging there, having to pull yourself up. That's why you lose the move action.
Okay, so I guess I'm actually... Okay, so I should just stay where I'm at?
Yeah.
Okay.
That means that I believe from... This should be the... Yeah, this is where you needed to go if you wanted to be at the edge of the cloud.
Oh, okay, because that seems like that's 5 feet off.
Oh, right. Yes, you weren't standing over Geier. You were standing above the doctor. Yep, you're right.
Don't throw it on.
So you still have a standard?
Well, I used a move action to grab the rod and a move action to try and get out here, so...
Right, okay. Emaírel, you're hearing Evelyn having some trouble in the mist before you. Maybe you see some dark shadow moving around.
You probably hear, like, sliding noises and a gasp, and then... I'm fine! I'm fine!
Oh, wait, so she is fine?
Yeah.
I don't know, every time a woman says I'm fine, you should know.
I have ladylike poise.
Well, if the lady is fine, Emaírel is going to turn around.
And I roll sense motive.
And hit the doctor with the resist energy.
Okay. And the move action?
Move action.
It's slippery out here.
Yeah, it seems so. Check. No, that wouldn't. Nothing.
Okay. Geier?
So Geier holding a little candle in one hand and a bag in the other, a look of concentration, and then suddenly looks up and wait, let me just confirm the range. So 25 feet. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna have it come out of the bridge. Well, nobody can see because there's fog, right? So seemingly out of the fog,
Right.
a bloodied skeleton emerges.
Standing there on the bridge. And what's its action? And it
Shambles. Yeah, it shambles towards the demon.
Okay, then it has to make an acrobatics check.
Okay. What is I have it open here? It has
no acrobatics, which means it just rolls its dexterity, so that's a +2.
It does have 14 dexterity, so not bad.
Yep.
Ah.
19, yeah, okay. It just, maybe out of dumb luck, hits exactly the rhythm that the rope bridge is swaying, and as
the wind that just like follows the sway of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Dragging its feet.
But it still can't get to the Arrhenius that is so high up that it just it swings its broken scimitar through the air, slashing at the Arrhenius, and gnashing its rotting teeth. Your action? Your turn?
I will. That's good. That's what they're for, right? Magic missile.
You don't see her.
Oh shit. Ah yeah, the fog. The fog. No, then Geier will just delay his turn.
Okay. And the Arrhenius turn comes up, and she just fires a barrage of arrows at this skeleton, not taking any gamble on it getting a lucky swipe at her. So that's 3 piercing, but also 2 fire, and then it's another 3 piercing, but also 4 fire, and I think that should be enough. And the skeleton catches on fire and kind of, in a puff of smoke, disappears. Doctor.
Somewhere near Lady Evelyn, a bottle sizzles and pops, and a small air elemental shows up.
Oh. It's a weird looking dog.
I know, right? And Doctor says, well, wait any time now. My growing hormones will kick any time, and my wolf will bite her in the dust. And
what size did you say? Small?
Yes, it is a small air elemental, as per Summon Nature's Ally 2, which is augmented. So it has +4 strength, +4 constitution.
Give me a second here. So, there's the token. Just have to look at the sheet. And have it show up in your journal.
Sorry for the trouble.
Okay. Alright, you should be able to move it now.
Doesn't seem to work. This one, right?
Because I haven't linked it to the sheet. Sorry. Wait. Small air elemental. Now you should be able to.
Doesn't seem to work.
Small air elemental. Sheet is owned by... Oh, it's just in your journal. You're not the owner. Now it should.
Aha, okay. So it appears somewhere here, and, well, since it has flying 100 speed with perfect maneuverability, it darts forward. Somewhere here, and maybe somewhere below this arena, and he will transform into the whirlwind. I know, I'm sorry, I'm riding your ass today.
No, I don't think that's gonna work because it's a small air elemental.
You think it won't won't be strong enough to catch her?
I believe that it won't be large enough. Let me check.
Well, any whirlwind is at least 10 feet tall. So it may be not able to damage her, but I suppose it should be able to at least restrict her.
Let me read it. No, creatures one or more size categories smaller than the whirlwind. I know it says might take damage when caught in the whirlwind, but when you read how it works, taking damage is sort of the first thing that happens, and only if you take damage, or the way that I read it is if you're not affected by the damage, you also don't have to save against being picked up and held in the winds, which would make sense, because if the wind is strong enough to pick you up, then it should also damage you. But if it is not strong enough to damage you, then it means the same as that it won't pick you up.
Alright, in that case, we will just use slam attack. It will be with strength bonus +7, 1d4 +2.
Question is, what exactly is the size of the whirlwind? Well, the size is 10 to 20 feet, which means that.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why I thought that it would be at least able to restrict her.
Well, the problem is that it doesn't have a size category. They just give it feet dimensions.
It does say that it's at least 10 feet high.
Yeah, that's a generic description, but in the small air elemental description, it actually says that it's 10 to 20 feet high.
Okay, anyway, that would be 23 and 6.
The slam is a 23?
Well, yeah, it is. Well, it gets +1 to attack and damage because it has strength +4.
Oh, I see. So that's a hit, and it's
Oh wait, maybe not even +1, +2. Since it's +4 and its strength is 12.
Yeah, it's fine. So that's 7 points of damage then.
Yeah,
and that's just is just bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, I suppose so. And the Irenaeus has -1 to attack and damage him, because Air Elemental has Air Mastery, and every airborne creature has penalties against him.
Nice. Okay. But you still have your turn, so that was just the effect of the summoning spell? Or extract?
Yep. On his own turn, Dr. Arronax, with strange sizzling sound, he will heal 5 hit points from his spontaneous healing. I believe I didn't use that all that much. I hope at least I didn't use it up all in last combat.
What's that?
Dr. Arronax will use his spontaneous healing as a free action.
Okay.
To heal +5 hit points from that what he was shot for.
Okay.
And I suppose he will continue to hide behind Emaírel because he was already shot twice and he doesn't really want to try again. He will continue to prepare his holy water. Although
Alright.
he can't see anything, it's, well, not good.
Okay. Evelyn?
If I 5-foot step, do I get the sense that I'm still going to have to make a save? Or is that not possible because it's like difficult?
Yeah, it is difficult, but if you move 5 feet as a full round, essentially, like crawling almost, then you would probably be saved. That's how rocky this bridge is.
Okay, I'm going to make a knowledge check on this creature as well.
Okay. But you can't see it right now?
But I've seen it before do it.
Yeah, you've seen it for a few seconds, so you can roll a knowledge.
What should I roll?
Planes.
Yeah, no, I'm not trained in that.
Okay.
What a waste of a 20.
Yeah, and they're too specific to count as common knowledge, so DC 10 would not help you anything.
Okay.
I mean, you've certainly heard of devil women, but you always assume that they're just like sexist ways to put women in their place.
She's probably been called a devil woman once or twice herself.
Exactly.
So she's going to... Since everyone else is standing around, I mean, I guess we can just let the air elemental keep taking swings. But,
Well, Emaírel is going to suggest that maybe retreating and waiting it out would finally be a wise choice.
But I want to do something cool!
Be my guest.
But a cool retreat.
Evelyn is going to... She can't even target the thing because she can't see it. And she can't 5-foot step, so... Alright, let's do this. It can't be that hard to walk on this. Like, okay. I don't know if this makes any sense, but when she slipped and fell on the bridge, did she get the sense that she almost caught her footing? Or like
You mean if she feels like
does she feel like she failed by a little bit or by a whole lot? If that's even a thing she can judge.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's this feeling like, oh, I was just being clumsy, or holy crap, this is slippery. And let me roll back to your check.
I got a 3.
You got a 3, and you have a +1. No, this is just really slippery, and the swaying does not make it easy.
Okay, in that case, she's got the rod held at the ready. She's going to take a readied action. She's going to ready an action with the rod in case this thing just happens to come in within range of her. But otherwise, she's just going to stay put and let the air elemental do its thing.
Okay. That means that it's Emaírel's turn.
So if I remember correctly, like through here, we would be back inside the building.
You would go back to the man's, yeah.
And inside the mess, like we would be completely isolated from the areas.
You mean their doors and the windows can be shuttered? Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's going to suggest again that we can wait her out in the manse. And I'll cover your retreat. Just you can cross that other bridge. It wasn't too hard. We'll just wait her out.
Won't we be exposed to fire as we cross the bridge?
Well, I think crossing the bridge can be done quickly enough that she can shoot you just as you cross.
But you do remember that when you came this way, you had to go down a little bridge because it was just 3 feet wide. It's mostly psychological, but going at full speed would probably still require some sort of acrobatics check.
We'll just wait her out here.
So what's your turn? What's your actions?
Well, Emaírel is just going to continue in total defense.
Okay. Geier.
So apart from all the screaming that Geier has heard, he's not really seen what's happening, right? Like, we're completely engulfed in fog.
Yeah, you're still in the fog.
Right. So Geier will curse loudly and become increasingly paranoid and also go into defense.
Okay.
Just cursing and muttering and, clearly displeased.
Mm-hmm. Arronax is going to hover 5 feet back and up, requiring another fly check, which she makes. Well, this is actually quite cutting it quite close.
Doesn't that provoke?
No, that's why she is doing the fly check to do basically a flying 5-foot step.
Oh, okay.
But this is cutting it so close that I wonder. No, that's fine. Yeah. That's way easier than I thought it would be. Okay. So, so she just kind of, with one powerful flap of wings, she slides 5 feet back and up and unleashes a barrage of flaming arrows onto the fire elemental. I believe all 3 of those hit.
Yeah, that would be enough.
So that's, I don't think you need me to break it down, right? I can just sum it up. Yes,
well,
no,
that's
maybe.
6 plus and 5
Plus
damage.
9, so that's 15 points of damage.
And that's exactly how... no, not exactly how much hit points. He still has at least 2 hit points left.
Okay. Doctor, your turn.
Okay. Yeah, because it... because of the elemental... his plus 2 constitution. Well, it's... those exact hit points are what saves him. Elemental will then rush forward and try to avenge himself. That's for one. Also, I was mistaken back then. The Elemental actually uses his finesse, so he attacks from dexterity, so his attack doesn't get plus 2.
Okay.
But his damage is plus... does get bonus from strength. Oh, well.
17 does not hit.
Yeah, that...
Evelyn. Oh, wait, Doctor, do you want to take any actions?
I think... yeah, Doctor will take a 5-foot step and make total defense.
Okay. Evelyn?
He will learn from the best here.
Evelyn is, I guess, she's gonna, she's gonna cast Hermian Potential on herself.
Okay. Move action.
She's just gonna stay put.
Okay. Yeah, it's swaying, but I don't think swaying enough to warrant a concentration check.
I don't think I'm concentrating on any. Oh, you mean just to cast? Yeah.
Yeah. Bouncy ride in a wagon. Well, that actually does seem about right. So it's easy, but nevertheless, give me a concentration check.
I've failed about half of these so far, so. What is it again? There's a oh, there it is.
Well, but you make this one, so you cast Hermian Potential on yourself. Emaírel?
Same thing, total defense and
Okay.
waiting for things to pass.
Geier?
Is there any way to kind of guess how much longer the fog will last? Is it starting to dissipate, or is it still...
You can give me a spellcraft check.
Okay.
You can also ask.
No.
Well, if this works, or if you like just going with your innate sense of your intuition about this, you would think that this is probably going to last minutes, which means tens of rounds.
Still a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so cursing guy will be like, "What are we supposed to do in this soup? Should we just sit here and wait to be killed?" And we'll go into defense.
All right. Naėllaŕian is hovering back and up. Fires another arrows, or another set of arrows at the air elemental, and I believe this time it's going to destroy it.
That would be enough.
Okay, so that was that. Doctor, your turn.
Yeah, that's right. I feel something was destroyed. Something was very dear to my heart. But let's not fixate on things. What do I have to offer next? Not much, really. I suppose we continue to just wait it out until she rushes into the fog, and then I will just ready an action to smack her with holy water.
Okay, Evelyn?
Yeah, Evelyn's sort of in the same boat. Can she... what sort of check would it be to know about this sort of spell that would summon this thing? Spellcraft or
yeah.
Arcana or something?
Yeah. Spellcraft.
Okay, that's a little better for her. Just a little. Never mind.
Yeah.
She's trying to figure out what the duration of this summoning spell might be, but she probably doesn't know.
Well, you have two people who cast summoning spells in your body. You can ask.
How much longer does anyone think this thing will be flying around out there? Because this mist will hang around for a while, if anyone wants to know.
I mean, it can't be longer than 2 minutes, right?
Evelyn is gonna, now that she's got Hermian Potential on her, she's gonna ready an action again with that rod, just in case. Comes within reach.
Emaírel?
Lady Evelyn, would you mind going behind so that if she rushes in, I would be the one to meet her? And he's just going to take again full defense.
Okay, Geier?
I mean, what are we doing here? Because we're just waiting for it to either stop flying or the thing to dissipate.
Yeah, we're just waiting for it to go away.
I think it's going to go away. It's either going to have to attack us or go away. It's on the time. It's on the timer. We're not. So
okay.
If she decides to come in, like we can deal with her in melee. If she does not, then we can safely let her out.
Then more of the above, and Geier will go into defense.
Okay.
there's one other thing that might happen, but we'll see.
Yeah.
You hear the wings come closer, Evelyn. And the silhouette of the devil woman starts to take shape in the mist in front of you. You see little rivulets of the fog part or make way as the wind of her wing flaps parts the fog a little bit until she appears right above you, essentially, right within arm's reach.
Okay. I'm going to try to use the rod to touch her bow.
Okay, she is not holding her bow anymore, so it's...
what is she holding?
She's now holding a length of rope.
Is it seem to be flaming?
It does not seem to be flaming.
Okay then, she is not going to try to touch anything on the creature.
Alright, but the devil woman is reaching out weirdly. It's kind of really freaking you out. She's holding this sort of limp rope, trying to touch you with it.
And my own mesmeric mirror will trigger.
Okay. Is that again to...
Yep.
Okay, so on a 1, she'll touch you.
And she also has to deal with general concealment.
Okay, so let's do the concealment first, because maybe you will be able to. No, the concealment does not help, but she, the rope just kind of goes through one of your mirrored images, and it disappears. And as she does so, before she really finishes the movement, she disappears as well.
Ha! Our cunning plan worked! Yeah, says Dr. Arronax, showing up from behind the corner.
Quick! Whilst you still are affected by my spells, try to cross now.
Are you dismissing the mist?
Yeah, I'll dismiss the mist.
Okay.
Huh. And we'll never know that the spell didn't actually summon a wolf from Dr. Arronax. But did anyone even saw the air elemental?
Nope.
Yeah. Then there was no character break, so it's all legal.
We'll have to catch it next time.
Yeah.
Strange that devil woman was preoccupied for so long out there by a simple dog.
But my lady Evelyn, it was not a simple dog. I used my growth formula in the solution of this summoning. So once it breaks, it will grow into a large beast. So no doubt it would be able to reach that flying beast and bite it in the ankle. Huh?
Funny, I didn't feel the rope bridge shifting at all, but never mind that. There's only a limited amount of time on my spells, and you're going to have a shot at getting across here, so we ought to move quickly.
Yes, that's true. That is weird, but we can ponder it later. And Arronax will try to join Lady Evelyn in very carefully moving through the bridge, holding by these what's the word? Hand ropes. Yes.
Who else sucks at acrobatics? Who am I kidding? We all do.
Except Emaírel, because he's an elf.
Hey, I resent the implication. I have 2 points in acrobatic.
Emaírel might be the worst of all when it comes to acrobatics.
Who else is going to need assistance here?
I think Emaírel will just take the very, very slow option.
Oh, that if we move 5 feet as a full round, we can do it, okay?
You can try.
Well, I've got the spell. I'm going to go for it. Okay. So, 30 feet.
So what is it you're doing? You're just going at full speed?
We have
I have
Hermian potential.
Hermian potential. Yeah.
So we might as well use it for now.
Okay, so go ahead and roll the acrobatics for the first movement. And you take the second one, make it 30 feet across, and go for another one. And you make the second one too, and you make it to the other side. Doctor?
Okay, let's see.
I don't see a roll. There it is. Okay, so you make the first one. That was the Hermian potential one, the second.
Yeah, I believe I should roll twice, right? Or I can opt to roll twice.
Yep, and go for it again.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't think you have an option. It's just the next two that you make, the next two d20 rolls you make, you roll twice.
And you roll first before you move, so. Because precisely of that reason, because now we have to go back and figure out where you were. And reflex save. So, while Evelyn makes it safely across, she leaves the bridge kind of rocky and dangling, and there's like all sorts of slippery boards that are also weakened by the exposure to the elements, and one of those gives way under the doctor's heavy boot, and he cracks through the boards, tries to hold on to the slippery boards, but instead goes, whoa!
Oh my god.
Well,
down into the waters below.
Again.
Oh god.
Again. Okay, so do you have any featherfall option?
Well, not right now. Or Emaírel.
Let me check. Let me check if I can be the one to cast it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if Emaírel can see me, I think he might. Otherwise, it would be a, well, surprisingly merciful but still painful fall.
I think I can, because it only says it's an immediate action. And the target is one medium free-falling creature, so it has a close range 25 plus 5.
Yeah, that's enough. You're 6th level, so you get exactly to 35.
So I guess he can do that.
Okay, so as the doctor falls, he hears Emaírel shout something after him.
Mm-hmm. And while Doctor tries to yell "fuck" while he falls, he realizes that he is out of breath way before he actually fell. So you can hear that the yell quiets down, and he resumes again. "Fuck!" and then it's with quite pluk into the water.
Wait, one thing at a time. So how much do you fall per round? I think we looked that up before. Wasn't it 60 feet?
I think it's 60.
60, yeah.
Yeah. And this lasts 1 round per level, so that's 6 rounds. Okay, so it's enough for you to really slowly, fall down until the river water catches you and immediately, of course, starts to throw you around a piece of driftwood. Give me a swim check.
Swim check. I put my skill point into that. No, I didn't.
Well, and the water immediately pulls, and everybody up there who has keen eyesight enough to even spot the doctor way down in the water sees him go under and get swept away by the current. What are you going to do?
Well, we're going to rush back out.
Damn it all! Damn it!
Do you have anything that can function as a floating device?
Only my ego.
Oh my god. Evelyn has to come back across the bridge in order to get there. 5 feet at a time.
Yeah.
Go see that he's alright, I'll catch up!
So you go around 5 feet per round. Is that it?
Yeah, it's gotta be. I mean, they rush ahead to try and catch up with him.
Yeah. And Emaírel, what are you doing? Are you rushing back, or what are you doing?
But everything we've seen so far has been secured, so I think it should be safe to rush ahead.
Okay, so you rush back. Did I catch that right?
Yeah.
And as you run over that stone-shaped bridge, I'll need an acrobatics check.
Don't rush across the bridges.
Yeah.
You're really just getting a head start on me.
Yeah, he'll take his time for the bridges.
Okay.
No sense in all of us getting wet.
Okay, but I mean, still, if you don't have any magical get down there, you won't be able to get to him in any meaningful way.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the water is rushing or something.
Yeah, exactly. The water is so fast that you will only be able to fish him out of the water somewhere downriver. But will definitely won't be there in time. Anyway, you rush back. Doctor, you're pretty much on your own. The current is pulling you under, and you have to start holding your breath. I'll need another swim check. If you want, you can just hold your breath and wait for everything to run its course, or you can actively try to get back to the surface.
Well,
wait for the sweet embrace of death.
Yeah, my constitution is right now is not that cool, so I think I'll try to waddle about with my -3 swim check.
Oh my god. Why is it so bad?
Because I was energy drained.
Yeah, but you're not wearing your armor anymore.
Wait a second, maybe...
Well, with those rolls, it doesn't really matter, but you can still figure it out, of course. Where is the...
You're right, I don't have my chain shard anymore, and it still was listed in my inventory.
Okay, so you remain underwater, so that means you continue to hold your breath, but that's reduced by 2. So let's just keep track of this. You can hold your breath for twice your Constitution score, which would make it. Your Constitution is 10. Okay, so it's 20 rounds. You can hold your breath for 20 rounds, but every time you take an action, it'll double the cost of holding your breath. So in this case, you have 18 rounds left of holding your breath before you start drowning. Right.
Well, I guess in this case I will, since it is not very feasible at the moment to try to swim out, Arronax will try to hold his breath for several rounds, hoping to find, calmer waters until he will he'll be what's the word? Dragged out there.
Okay, so you hold your breath, you close your eyes, since the world around you is tumbling anyway, and you just wait for the river to spit you back out again. So you lose a round of holding your breath as the water just kind of throws you around. And yeah, you just continue to get spun around for another round. So now you're down 2 more rounds. And another round. Feel free to say stop at any time. And another round. And another round. And you're starting to lose all sense of orientation. You don't know where up and down is. And another round.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling dizzy.
Yeah.
Feeling
That's really sad.
Your consciousness just barely holding on. And another round.
I wonder if I can. Can I make any other actions other than swim checks?
What are you thinking?
Oh, no, I think it's to drink something.
To drink something?
Yeah, aside from water.
Not as long as you didn't succeed on a swim check, because right now you're just at the mercy of the current. So if you once you've made a swim check, maybe, but definitely not while you're just being tossed around. What was that?
If only I could. 1 second, I will reload my sheet. Well, okay, let's make it another round.
And another round of just hoping for the best, not even knowing anymore where you are, if you're about to be spit out, or if that hard ground that you just hit was the riverbed. And it takes another round and another round, a few moments, until you realize that you're lying in a pile of wood that's been washed ashore here, just like you. And you start coughing into the sand, counting your blessings, and you've actually managed to survive this ride twice.
Yes. Ugh. Yeah.
A while later, your friends show up, out of breath. At least Emaŕel and Geier, I'm sure, will be.
Yeah, Evelyn will come up probably like a minute later, and she'll say, I've got the wand! Does he need the wand?
I'm fine. I'm fine. It's fucking cold.
Oh, well, that I can't help with. You're okay, though, right?
As far as I can be, under the circumstances, but I live.
Look, my magic can only get you so far. You can't be entirely clumsy all of the time.
I'll blame the bridge in this one.
Well, it's good to see that we won't be spending 6,000 gold on your resurrection again.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would fare with that many negative levels. Oh, mortals.
You want to...
Hey.
Well then. What are we waiting for?
Right, we still have to. I mean, there's no way we're crossing that cursed bridge without all of us falling, is there?
Well, if we just take our time,
And
I suppose.
yeah, and tie a rope around us so we can fall all at once.
Oh my god, I just see 1, 2, 3, 4, everyone goes off. No, okay. Discretion is the better part of valor, I suppose.
Oh wait, right. Valuable writing stuff and fine clothing. I could use some dry clothing right now.
Really, you want to dress up as a noble?
I'm drenched in freezing water.
I mean, I suppose we could probably find a towel around.
Yeah, we probably should before continuing.
Can I dry him with prestidigitation? Is that one of the things you can do?
Well, yeah, once once he's no longer soaking wet, like 10-15 minutes later, the prestidigitation should be enough.
So, like, on the walk back up to the schloss, she's just, like, occasionally wicking off.
When she finally can't take his complaining anymore.
It wouldn't be appropriate for you to be dressed as a noble. There's a reason why we wear what we wear and you lot wear what you do.
Oh, wow.
Well, yes, and that reason is that your clothes are dry. And warm.
Well, I guess let's get him dried off and try again. Slowly, or...
I guess, yes.
So, how are you going to do it this time?
5 feet at a time.
Yeah.
Alright.
Very carefully.
Yeah, while clutching at the hand ropes.
Okay, so one by one, making sure not to put too much strain on the bridge, you make your way across painfully slowly, but the memory of watching the doctor slowly descend down into the stormy waters makes you not want to be too hasty about things. And you finally all gather on the far side of the bridge on a little landing where one end of the demolished bridge that you remember seeing, right? That this wasn't always a rope bridge, that it's more of like a temporary installment.
Yeah.
And right, one end of the demolished bridge still clings to the cliff beneath the large building and now forms this landing. There's a statue of a beautiful nymph that stands next to a pair of double doors. And above the doors is a stained glass window depicting a unicorn.
Detect magic. Everything. Everywhere. The statue, the stained glass.
You hastily cast your spell, getting a little flustered about things. And rightfully so, because there is a spell on the door. Give me knowledge arcana.
Door!
Knowledge arcana, I believe, is what you do first. Yeah, there is magic, but you can't put your finger on what kind of magic.
Other people's spells, really not my forte. Someone...
I could give it I think I could give it a go.
Okay.
Try your intuition.
Alright. So Geier will Try to detect magic and do... Yeah.
Knowledge Arcana.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh. It's the height. The bridge really... Like, Geier still has the shakes. Like the rolling water and the height.
But at least you agree there is magic.
Yeah, let's just assume it's evil.
Emaírel, well, it's kind of surprising because you were expecting another conjuration, but this one is abjuration. So a sort of protective spell. Give me a spellcraft check, Emaírel. 17. Yeah, you would think that it's some sort of alarm spell that would get triggered if you interact with the door.
Something like this?
Pretty much like this, yeah.
Well,
can you counter spells or something?
I don't think... Well, I know I can't.
How far up is that unicorn stained glass?
It's right over the door, so somewhere something like 8 feet up.
And the magic only seems to be on the door?
Yes.
And apart from those two, there's no other point of entry.
Apart from those doors?
From the door and window.
Well, there are more when you look left and right down the wall of the building, which, again, like, there's this landing in front of the door, and then the building itself sits right at the edge of the cliff, so you can't easily get to the other windows in the wall, but there certainly are more windows. All of them are stained glass and depict various sorts of beasts and monsters.
Evelyn grabs a chunk of rock. Takes aim at the unicorn's horn. And chucks it at the glass.
And with a great smashing sound,
what?
Well,
at least we haven't
resorting to vandalism, huh?
Well, this place is already blown to shit. And, at least we didn't trigger the alarm, eh?
Well,
I wasn't complaining.
Someone give me a boost, would you?
Sure.
okay.
Yeah, Geier doesn't even move. He kind of assumes that...
Doctor, I think you might be a little, woozy still.
I'm just tempted to say that Emaírel might be just so frustrated that he just tosses her over.
just chucks her through the window.
yeah, maybe with some suppressed anger, he doesn't give her enough time to make sure that she doesn't, like, reach into the broken glass or something. Just kind of gives her a boost and then pushes her up so that she more falls more than actually climbs through the window. Does that sound?
I mean, I just wanted to look through the opening for starters.
Well, still, then he like pushes you up so quickly that you have a hard time making sure where you are putting your hand, and You just cut yourself a little bit. Not enough for hit point damage. But certainly, ouch.
Easy there, Elf. What are we looking at?
You're peeking into the room beyond the double doors, which looks like a lobby of some sort. It's about 30 by 10, 20, 30. Yeah, 30 by 40 feet. And it's crammed with cabinets. And in the light of some torches that are lit and sitting in sconces on the wall, you see all sorts of weird alchemically preserved creatures sitting in the cabinets. There's a pair of bluish-looking leathery tiny wings, several large spiders, parts of a dissected giant slug, and digestive tracts and proboscises of 3 sturges.
Oh, shit.
There are 3 doors that lead out of this room, one in each direction of the compass. So one north, one west, one east, south, and you're looking in from the...
I'm going to do a perception check just to see if I can catch anything a little more detailed.
Okay.
But probably not.
No,
I'm standing on Emaírel.
Everything's quiet and still. Seems empty and uninhabited.
Is it a well-lit? You said there were torches that were burning?
Yes, the torches are burning.
Did they look mundane? Like, someone must have lit them recently.
Do you want to cast Detect Magic?
Yeah, sure.
No magic from the torches.
And nowhere else in the room?
And nowhere else in the room.
Okay, check the ceiling.
Also no magic there.
How high is the ceiling, by the way?
Normal height. Something like
10 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just this level. There's just the 3 doors leading off in different directions. Okay.
Yes, that's not quite true. The building from the outside, you can tell that the building has a 2nd floor and even a 3rd floor. There's a little tower sort of structure that sits on top of the building. But you don't see
a way up or down.
No.
Okay. Evelyn's gonna grab some extra fabric from her skirt and use it to kind of brush away the glass that's still maybe at the bottom of the frame, and then she's going to very as ladylike as possible kind of lift herself up and over. And as she does so, she's going to say, just toss me the rope and, or just, if you're in a mood, Emaírel, you can just toss everyone else up too.
He will send over the rope and give a boost to the other 2.
Yeah, careful!
Alright. One by one, you help the others inside. And how are you going to get it inside?
Well, I'm going to climb the rope, which I imagine is fixed somewhere.
Yeah, sure. Taking 10, it should be easy enough for you to get that done. And thus you very elegantly opening the door. And congratulations, by the way, the first time you actually managed to overcome a wall. It is one that has an unlocked door. But
It's It's a challenge. It's our nemesis.
I guess you're leveling up. Okay, so yeah, you find yourself in this sort of lobby room. Everybody now gets to take in the sights, all these weird creatures in the cabinet, sitting in their little alchemical fluid-filled jars. Some of them pinned onto cork boards.
What can I say about it as a fellow preservationist?
Yeah, you definitely spot the professionalism of it all. They're not not trophies of some sort of hunter that is just in it for the glory of it. You know, they are actually of scientific curiosity, and the way that they've been preserved is quite meticulous. And you'd be delighted to have a collection like this, but you know that most people don't have a sense for.
Yourself. I mean, my preservation abilities are completely different. I mean, in concept and execution. Well, figuratively speaking, or in literature. And, I mean, all my samples are still alive when I preserve them. Once.
Do we have a sense from looking at the exterior of the building, like which of these doors might lead to like a larger or smaller section of the building? Do we get the sense that there's like, oh, there's only about 30 feet of building to the south, and there's 100 feet of building to the north, or something like that?
Oh yeah, sure. As walls stretched from both on both sides of that landing, there's probably a wash. So it's about 30 to 40 feet either way.
Well, I've already determined that there's nothing of worth in this room, so shall we just move on?
Yeah. Yeah, the sooner we move from room to room, the less time we waste here. And get to the good stuff.
Evelyn is going to... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Simon, I assume that we won't have maps for just exploration, right?
Correct.
Could you put us on a page with like just a grid?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, that we can do the same mapping out.
Yeah, that's sure. I can do that. It's just that the map that they provided with the adventure is actually off. It doesn't all really fit together. They changed the scale on the map is different. The rooms need to be so. It may end up being too.
I mean like a. I mean like a map with just a blank grid, not a map of the adventure.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is that if you start mapping it yourself, just so you know, it might actually end up being quite confusing.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we don't have to try to do it to scale. We can just kind of do it like we had it before.
Yeah, sure. Definitely makes sense to get some sense of direction, but just as a heads up. So, can you see here? I think that should work, right?
Yeah.
And I'll get you started with the landing.
Evelyn will take the moment's pause to recast Mesmeric Mirror on herself and on Emaírel, and then she's out of those for the day.
Okay. So there's the landing with the main door. Okay, and you cast the Mesmeric.
Actually, I take it back. She only has one left, so she puts it on herself.
Of course. Still, where do you want to go next? Because I take it that you said that you wanted to explore an adjacent room, but are you going to go north, west, or south? No opinions?
I'm just trying to draw, but you said it was like the room was like 30 by 40, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you guys do that. Evelyn has a good feeling about the south.
The south will rise again.
Not that kind of feeling.
Could not help myself, sorry.
Okay, so she is probably not going to wait for a group decision, and instead just says that out loud and heads south, right?
I feel good about the south.
And she opens the door and finds a room adjacent to this one that is sort of oddly shaped. It's somewhat L-shaped. Well, the room itself is 30 by 30, but then standing in the doorway immediately to the right, there's a 10 by 10 section that's walled off. That's basically not part of this room. The rest of the room is dominated by the skeleton of what looks like a sea cow that's hung from the ceiling on a set of iron rungs and appears to be held together by steel frames. Again, there are numerous jars that sit on shelves within the room, and they also contain alchemically preserved creatures, this time octopuses, tube worms, the head of a fish man of some sort, a curiously repellent eel-like creature with fangs, and a strange mermaid-like creature with the upper body of a monkey and the tail of a fish.
Well...
well, the Institute would have killed for such a collection, but...
Geier would like to turn an analytical eye towards it. Would it be Arcana or Nature or what?
That would be a Nature check.
Well, he's not trained, but he's fascinated.
You're not trained, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see the creature here, sitting in its jar, and you're eerily intrigued by it. It looks like a half-formed, sentient-seeming creature, but you've never seen anything like it. It's disturbingly fascinating.
Yeah.
Doctor, any idea what this might be?
Well, I can make some certain scientific guess.
That is pretty creepy.
Yep.
I mean, after all, I am a scholar of natural sciences, among some
You
other...
are indeed. You are indeed, and as such, you do recognize the creature. They're called Ningyos. They are hideous sea monstrosities that combine the most ferocious features of simian and carp. They're easily identified by their fish-like tail that's sprouting a grotesquely primitive humanoid torso, head, and limbs. Usually just the size of this thing, so about 2 feet long, and its fangs, and usually it uses its fangs and claws to attack its prey. They're the bane of fishermen and divers, known to lurk in tropical waters, gorging themselves on fish and attacking anything they can sink their tiny fangs into. They're kind of like the boogeyman of the sea, attacking seagoers, ships, and fishing tackle out of blind hunger. They swarm by night, and they can easily drag opponents down to drown a swarm of claws and needling teeth.
Well, I mean, if anything in this castle tries to drown people, so... Well, anyway, this... I can't imagine why someone would want one of these pickles, but I suppose if someone encounters them at one point in life, that urge to take revenge would be overwhelming, so I suppose it is a poetic justice to have this thing drowned in formaldehyde and spirit.
Well, there's one more detail about them that you remember that makes it really special, because, I mean, of course the deep sea houses all sorts of terrifying creatures, but Ningyos are famous for returning to life by night.
Oh.
Even when they're slain. They...
Oh.
Yeah.
So they're basically immortal?
Well, not exactly. They're more like undead. So they start out being just like any other living, monstrous, humanoid creature, but if they're slain, they essentially turn into an undead.
Wow.
And here I thought that there would be no... they couldn't be any more disgusting, and then this happens. Ugh. We better not touch this thing.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. Most undead things should, well, remain dead. And it seems lately I've been becoming a focus point for this hideous creature, so if we can minimize that, I would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. Other than that strange centerpiece of the collection, there's, like I said, all sorts of preserved aquatic animals and creatures in jars on the wall. There are a couple of windows, stained glass, also depicting various monstrous-looking animals. But there's no other door.
Evelyn is looking around the room with her 26 perception, and she's especially interested in that section that seems to be walled off. Does it look like it's just naturally the way the room's constructed, or does it look like a wall was maybe built at a later date?
You inspect the wall, because it is a strange feature of the room, but it looks just like the rest of the wall. It's paneled oak just like the rest. But it's free of any, or at least one section of it is free of any shelves, even though all the rest of the room's space is basically taken over by various jars and other things. So it really strikes your interest, and you inspect that section more closely, and you find that one of the little ornaments in the oak panel, it's actually a well-hidden button, and as you press it, a large chunk of the oak panel pops open, and you gently pull it open to reveal a spiral staircase behind that secret door that leads up.
Okay.
Look at that.
Curious.
Emaәрel?
Before we move on, can Geier do an Arcana check and see if there's anything of interest there?
In, you mean among the collection?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, your morbid curiosity is, of course, piqued. And you find a lot of them, you believe, really interesting. Especially that the head of that fish human just kind of reminds you of someone in some way. But
I'll take it.
Okay.
What?
I mean, it's in a jar, no?
Yeah, it is in a jar.
Well,
It's dead right now, but the doctor. Never mind.
No, not
You explain
not
it.
Not that,
You explain
no,
it.
no, I'm not saying that strange mermaid creature.
Oh, it's just a head.
As I mentioned, there's another, just a head of a medium-sized fish man that's in a jar on the wall,
It's not the undead mermaid. It's another one.
and that one just feels like, just kind of feels familiar to you.
Yeah, it's...
Feel an odd connection to it.
Yeah. Geier, just ignoring everyone, just goes and takes it. And carries it with him.
Tug it under your arm.
Yep.
Okay. So, just to make this clear, Evelyn inspects the wall, pops open a secret door, reveals the staircase, and she goes, "Well, gentlemen, look at that." And Geier looks at it and goes, Goes to the wall, picks up the head, and says, "All right, let's go."
I mean, we can use an extra set of eye.
Well, it's weird, but then again,
It's not the weirdest thing you've done.
yeah, everything we've been doing so far has been quite weird.
Yeah, for sure. However, before we go ascending any staircases, do we want to make sure the rest of this level is cleared?
Yeah, let's head out west, maybe.
Doing the clockwise thing, I like it.
Okay, so you move back to the lobby and then take the door to the west, where you're immediately faced by a bullet.
I hope it's not live.
Well, it certainly scares you for a split second, but luckily it is stuffed and standing on the far side of the room, which is quite large. It is 40 by 20, 40 by 70, 40 wide, 70 high, and again, it only has the one door that you've just entered. The boulette is facing the door from the far side, and again, this room is just filled with cabinets along the walls. This time they contain various humanoids, partially dissected bugbear, a partially transformed doppelganger that is like mostly gray, but parts of him have already taken on human features, a complete goblin dog, and all of them sitting in various tanks filled with alchemical fluids.
Yeah, Geier has a hard time not dropping his current jar and reaching for another.
Yeah. But the room this
Detecting magic.
detecting magic in this case reveals nothing.
Knowledge Arcana.
But you don't know anything Arcana. Oh no, that was
I do know Arcana.
you do know Arcana.
Where's the other way?
You don't really get it. What
It's
the point is of all this? Because if you're, they're not undead. They're just frozen in their state of composition. Of decomposition. It's just you just don't get it. It's either bury them or animate them.
Yeah, it's not even necromancy. It's just weird experimentation.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, that makes no sense to me.
Well, it kind of does make sense when you think of the beast.
Well, sure, but there's easier way to reanimate corpses. Why go to all this trouble?
Because he doesn't just want an undead. That's not what the beast is, or any of his other creations. It's something else.
Fate much worse, I think.
It's not resurrected life, it's created life. They're constructs.
Exactly. How would you feel if you were reconstructed?
Well, I mean, by this point, we would be completely different creatures, and we wouldn't know any better.
What sort of knowledge check would it be to know about doppelgangers?
They are, I believe, aberrations. So, engineering?
That's knowledge local.
Well, okay.
Would history do? No, right?
No. Nature could also work, but...
No.
Okay, yeah, well, this grayish humanoid that, is mostly gray in this case. Its head narrow, no features. The face has no features. Limbs are sort of unnaturally gaunt. But part of its leg has already taken on a very different shape. It has the skin tone of a pale human, and it doesn't look like the other leg, which just looks like gray exposed muscle tissue. So it looks as if it got caught mid-transformation, which makes you think that this creature is probably one of those doppelgangers that are able to assume any shape of any humanoid that they wish to copy. Kind of like a more elegant version of the skin stealer.
Yes, I've heard of such creatures going after poor nobles who end up being impersonated for their power, wealth, etc. Strange, though. I had always heard that doppelgangers change back to their original form on death. This seems to have been perhaps caught and slain mid-transformation and preserved immediately, maybe.
Well, whoever did this has quite a bit of skill in many different ways.
And could just one man have done all this?
Well, not necessarily, per se, but it seems to be so.
But the time, the resources, the gathering of raw materials.
Well, if there's anything that our missing host has, it's resources, and probably plenty of time ever since he was bereft of his title.
I mean, we both knew Professor Larimore, and he was clearly nowhere near as wealthy as owner of this place.
Nowhere
and yet,
near, it would have raised suspicions if he just started collecting body parts.
well, I mean that he was nowhere near as wealthy as this Mr. Karamark, and yet he achieved quite a bit. And so, imagine what a man with similar, well, drives. No, it's a bad term of word. I mean, a man of similar intellectual potency, with unlimited resources and quite a bit of time could achieve.
Well, regardless, there doesn't seem to be anything else here unless you've noticed something, Emaírel.
Have I?
Is that the perception check up there?
Yep.
No, other than the odd subject matter, there's nothing special about this room.
Let's move on then.
Heading north?
Yep.
North.
Okay. This room is 30 feet deep and 70 feet wide. Well, 80, I guess. 80 feet wide. And it's also filled with weird-looking preserved creatures. In addition to that, though, there are two elaborately carved and painted sarcophagi that stand against east and west walls. There's a pile of chains that lies in the center of the floor.
There?
You said the sarcophagi were on what,
The west and the east walls, and there's a chain lying in the center of the floor. There's a trapdoor in the northeast corner, and there's a door in the northwest corner.
Detect magic.
You can do the honors on that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You detect magic, which is going to take a little while to focus on the room, tune out all of the various auras of your friends.
Try and ignore the distractions and
and nothing remains.
While that is happening...
Sorry.
Okay.
Wait, that's not exactly true. There is an aura that is emanating from within the western sarcophagus.
the western sarcophagus over here.
Okay, well, yeah.
Unnatural about it.
Emaírel would have tried to see if there were any traces of being used recently, any dust prints, like someone lifting it, or
on the sarcophagus
towards it. Yeah.
Okay, so you move over, inspecting the floor, and then by the time you get there, inspect the sarcophagus itself. And the floor is meticulously well swept. Everything is clean, polished almost, and the sarcophagus is as well in perfect condition. It is old, of ancient Naėllaŕian design, but it is squeaky clean, not a speck of dust on it.
The whole room has been cleaned, or just one area?
All the rooms have been very clean. In case you
all the rooms,
yeah.
Okay.
Not some good service.
You
Probably more of those brooms.
those automatons. Ugh.
Can I inspect the sarcophagus closer?
Sure. So, after Emaírel slowly makes his way over to the sarcophagus, inspecting the floor for any footprints, and then inspects the sarcophagus himself, carefully letting his finger slide across the lid to check for dust, and then Geier joins him, bending down to look at all the Emaříani glyphs that are adorning the sides of the sarcophagus. You suddenly hear the terrifying sound of stone grinding on stone as the lid begins to open, and a mummy rises from the sarcophagus. And at the same time as the mummy rises, as if to opportunistically use the occasion, the other sarcophagus slams open, but instead of releasing another mummy, the lid of the sarcophagus itself grows fangs, and a disgustingly large purple tongue lashes out from inside as the sarcophagus turns into a monster of its own right. And that's going to be our cliffhanger for today.
Oh,
A mummy and the mimic.